Hey guys, so today we are tackling yet another very polarizing vegetable, the Brussels sprout. You either love them or you hate them. I myself am in the love them camp, but a lot of people hate them because they have a tendency to get mushy and really flavorless and kind of gross. We're going to eliminate that possibility by cooking them on the stovetop instead of in the oven. So what you'll need are your Brussels sprouts, and then we're going to follow the same MO as last time with the broccoli. We'll have your olive oil, your salt and pepper, fresh lemon, and your freshly minced garlic. So what I've done with these Brussels sprouts is I've cut the hard, flavorless little nub off and cut them in half so we have more surface area for flavor. So you want to start heating your olive oil in your pan on about medium. You're going to want 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and you're going to add your minced garlic just until it starts to become fragrant. Which doesn't take long at all. And then we can add our sprouts. I'm just going to toss them in the olive oil and the garlic so they get covered up a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on them. Now, pan frying them is going to allow them to cook all the way through. I feel like sometimes when you roast them, you have to cook them for a really long time, and sometimes they're still a little bit underdone because it doesn't quite get into the inside, and they taste kind of bitter and funky on the inside. So when we pan fry them, and especially when we cut them in half, they'll get cooked all the way through, you'll have flavor all the way through, and they stay crisp and nice. So what I'm going to do is, once you feel like you've coated them in the olive oil and the garlic and the salt and pepper, kind of flip them over a little bit to have the flat side that you've cut, like on the bottom of the pan, so they'll get a little bit browned and nice. We're going to pretend like I've done that with all of them. We're going to keep this nice and short. The next step I like to do to make sure that they are as cooked as they should be is I take my lid and I fill it with just a little bit of water. I'm going to toss these a little bit more. I just want them to cook a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my water, I'm going to put it over the top, and I'm going to close them off. And this will steam them just a little bit to make sure they're cooked all the way. And this usually takes about 5 minutes, and we'll be back once that's done. They've been steaming for about 5 minutes, and then I'm just going to toss them around a little bit. See how they're a little bit browned on the edges? That's nice. And we're going to just keep tossing them until okay, so we're just going to keep tossing. You need to turn it down a little bit. Feel free to do so. You don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. You just want it to get a little bit brown. Again, keeping the cut sides down as much as possible. It's a little tedious, but well worth the effort, I think. And then we're going to add our lemon juice. Handy dandy citrus press. Move it, press it again. Show the lemon who's boss. And then toss them again. Make sure all flavors start to meld. And then I like to cover them up one more time and just kind of let them steam again in the lemon juice. Get as much flavor in there as possible. Turn them up a little bit so they get a little bit browned. And then we're just gonna let them ruminate and they'll start to get really fragrant. All right, I'm gonna toss them some more. It should be starting to brown around the edges. And I'm just gonna keep stirring them and tossing them until they just can't take it anymore. And until you feel like they're done. They start to get a little bit like when so Brussels sprouts are little mini cabbages, if you didn't know that. And the edges start to kind of peel away a little bit, and sometimes they get a little bit crispy and yummy, which is great. This is really nice to eat with some salmon or really anything, but I like to eat it with salmon. And if you want to get real fancy with it, you can zest the lemon on top. That adds more flavor and a little bit of color as well. If you feel like you've got enough lemon, then obviously this is good as is as well. Okay, so when you think they're done and they're good and brown and nice and fragrant and you're ready to serve them, you just dump them on a pan. Add your lemon zest if you want. If you want a little bit more salt and pepper, you can do that too. Yeah. They're soft, but they're still a little bit crisp, and they're really flavorful. And yeah, go forth, eat your real food, and enjoy. Thanks a lot.